Planetary Geometric Correspondences in Vedic Astrology, Part 7, Saturn. Now we arrive at Saturn, Shani, the planet of discipline, time, karma, and endurance. In Vedic astrology's symbolic geometry, Saturn is associated with a window with 4 panes, a square divided into quadrants. This image might seem modest at first glance, but it holds profound philosophical and energetic significance. It reflects Saturn's role as the cosmic taskmaster, the one who structures life, delivers consequences, and teaches through limitation and long-term focus. In Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Saturn is described as slow-moving, dark-complexioned, and tall, with a lean and somewhat fearful appearance. He's known to cause suffering, but not out of cruelty. Shani represents the universal law of karma. What you sow, you must reap. Just like the 4-paned window, his influence divides your life into segments of experience that must be patiently lived through. The square divided into 4 parts becomes a symbolic grid of time, duty, introspection, and accountability. Mythologically, Saturn is the son of Surya the sun and Chhaya, shadow, and is often feared for bringing delays, challenges, and suffering. Yet in deeper truth, Shani is one of the most spiritually potent grahas. He humbles the ego, slows down the impulsive mind, and forces deep maturity. In stories, even the gods are wary of his glance, yet they honor him as the ultimate teacher of Dharma. The 4-paned window is a beautiful metaphor for his function. He lets in the light, but only in measured doses, and only after you have faced your lessons. Astrologically, Saturn governs responsibility, structure, endurance, and boundaries. A strong Saturn gives you resilience, a solid work ethic, respect for rules, and spiritual detachment. It helps you become a master of your craft, someone who ages gracefully and lives with purpose. However, an afflicted Saturn can bring fear, isolation, rigidity, and chronic struggle, the metaphor of a closed window where you feel blocked or stuck in darkened corners of life. It represents the importance of patience and perspective. From a sacred geometry and Vastu perspective, the 4-paned window, a square divided by a cross, is deeply symbolic. The cross within the square represents the union of space and time, the 2 dimensions Saturn governs. It also hints at the 4 Purusharthas, goals of life: Dharma, duty; Artha, wealth; Kama, desire; and Moksha, liberation, which Saturn asks us to balance slowly over a lifetime. In architecture, this pattern shows up in latticework, screens, and temple carvings that filter light, just as Saturn filters reality to teach discernment. In Yantra design, Shani yantras are built upon a rigid, symmetrical grid. They often use the number 9, Saturn's numerological value, arranged in 3x3 magic squares, reinforcing Saturn's association with order, repetition, and karmic accounting. These yantras are used to pacify Saturn's influence and to cultivate discipline, detachment, and perseverance. The 4-fold divisions also represent the 4 directions. Saturn governs space, boundaries, and long durations. Placing these yantras in the West, Saturn's direction in Vastu is said to bring stability and maturity. In modern Vedic astrology, Saturn governs professions that require perseverance, structure, or control, such as law, engineering, management, research, and spiritual discipline. It also plays a key role in one's long-term karma. Transits of Saturn, Sade, Daya, mark pivotal periods of soul testing and growth. The 4-paned window helps us see Saturn not just as restriction, but as framework. It's a reminder that real wisdom isn't loud. It's built through silence, solitude, and slow refinement over time. So when you contemplate Saturn through the lens of the 4-paned window, think of it as a sacred frame for life's toughest but most valuable lessons. Each pane offers a different view: hardship, discipline, service, and detachment. But together, they form a structure through which light can enter, mindfully. Saturn doesn't rush. He builds foundations, and through his quiet gaze, you learn not just to endure, but to evolve. Yantra of Saturn: construction, design, and benefits. Let us now explore the Shani Yantra, the sacred geometrical tool associated with Saturn in Vedic astrology. Saturn is the planet of karma, discipline, endurance, and long-term rewards. The Shani Yantra reflects these qualities through its rigid symmetry, deep symbolism, and grounding energy. It is especially helpful for those facing Saturn's challenging transits, Sadasati Daya, or when Saturn is afflicted in the birth chart, bringing delays, obstacles, or chronic life burdens. The construction of the Shani Yantra is methodical and restrained, just like Saturn's nature. It typically begins with a solid square outer boundary, representing structure, responsibility, and the limitations within which life unfolds. Inside the square is a magic square of numbers, 3x3 grid, in which every row, column, and diagonal adds up to the same total, usually 15, symbolizing Saturn's order and karmic balancing. At the center lies a bindu, anchoring your attention and representing the spiritual stillness at the heart of all effort. Some yantras may include lotus petals or concentric rings for added depth, but the core essence is always orderly and symmetrical. The color scheme for the Shani Yantra includes deep indigo, steel gray, black, and occasionally dark blue, evoking Saturn's themes of austerity, maturity, and gravity. It is traditionally crafted on copper, often blackened or plated with silver, or etched into black stone, slate, or bhojpatra. In ritual form, the yantra may also be drawn using black ink on white or gray paper. Each detail of the yantra reflects Saturn's Vedic character, grounded, enduring, and unyielding. The Shani Yantra is especially effective when Saturn is retrograde, debilitated, combust, or involved in harsh aspects with Mars, Rahu, or the Moon. Afflictions to Saturn may manifest as fear, stagnation, depression, chronic illness, poverty, or burdensome responsibilities. Meditating upon the Shani Yantra or using it in Saturn pacification rituals, Shani Shanti, can help dissolve karmic blocks, build patience, and attract dharmic opportunities. The main mantra for energizing it is Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanaisharaya Nama, chanted best on Saturdays. In terms of placement, the Shani Yantra should be installed in the west or southwest direction of the home or workplace, both directions ruled by Saturn in Vastu Shastra. It can be placed on a black or dark blue cloth, preferably in a quiet corner, away from areas of loud energy or constant activity. You may face west while meditating on it. Offerings like black sesame seeds, mustard oil, iron, or urad dal, black gram, are made to appease Saturn, along with lighting a sesame oil lamp. The primary benefits of the Shani Yantra lie in strengthening resilience, responsibility, and spiritual growth. It's a karmic cleanser, helping you pay off life's debts through effort and humility. For those in careers demanding long-term focus, justice, or engineering, like judges, scientists, researchers, or infrastructure planners, the yantra helps stabilize intention and focus. It can also assist those dealing with lawsuits, land disputes, or chronic financial delays. On a subtler level, the Shani Yantra cultivates emotional endurance and spiritual discipline. Saturn governs the Muladhara, root chakra, which relates to survival, security, and groundedness. Regular worship or contemplation of this yantra can help people with chronic fear, existential insecurity, or feelings of isolation find inner strength. It fosters the capacity to sit with discomfort, delay gratification, and persist through adversity, hallmarks of true Saturnian maturity. Ultimately, the Shani Yantra is a geometric vow of accountability. It's not designed for quick fixes or fleeting blessings. It represents the slow, honest unfolding of earned success. It teaches that suffering has purpose, and time is the greatest teacher. When used with sincerity, this yantra doesn't just protect, you grow through it. It makes you capable, wise, and rooted. Just like Saturn, the Shani Yantra rewards those who stay the course. Planetary Geometric Correspondences in Vedic Astrology Part 8, Rahu. Now let's enter the enigmatic world of Rahu, the North Lunar Node, the shadow planet of desire, illusion, innovation, and disruption. Geometrically, Rahu is represented by a straight line. At first, this may seem underwhelming, just a line, but in symbolic and metaphysical terms, this line is razor sharp. It represents singular focus, forward drive, boundary-breaking momentum, and linear obsession. Rahu doesn't curve, doesn't pause. It cuts through. It fixates. It goes straight toward what it wants, regardless of the rules. In classical texts like Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Rahu is described as smoky, fearsome, and tamasic in nature. He's known as a Chhaya graha, a shadow planet, because he has no physical body, yet exerts intense psychological and karmic influence. Though not given a specific geometric symbol in the scriptures, Rahu's behavior justifies the straight-line representation, a direct, often aggressive push toward obsession, fame, rebellion, or taboo-breaking experiences. It's the line that cuts through social constructs and illusions. Mythologically, Rahu originates from the legend of Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. When Vishnu distributed the Amrit, nectar of immortality, the Asura Svarbhanu disguised himself to partake. But the sun and moon revealed him, and Vishnu sliced off his head. The severed head became Rahu, and the tail became Ketu. Rahu is the part that wants to live forever, to dominate, to consume without limit. The straight line reflects his desire to transcend the circle, to break out of cycles and head in one direction only, more. Astrologically, Rahu represents your material desires, foreign influences, addictions, innovations, and areas where you crave growth but lack experience. A well-placed Rahu can make you pioneering, bold, even revolutionary, bringing success through unconventional paths like technology, media, politics, or mystical arts. But when afflicted, Rahu's line becomes dangerous: obsession, deceit, paranoia, and burnout. It's like a beam of energy without grounding. You're moving fast, but you don't know where you're going. In sacred geometry, the line is the most primal form, the axis of direction and projection. It's not stable like a square or cyclic like a circle. It doesn't conform. It represents force. In Yantra traditions, Rahu Yantras are often drawn with strong vertical and diagonal strokes, invoking motion, slicing through boundaries. Unlike other planetary yantras, Rahu's symbolism isn't about balance, it's about charge, about raw momentum. In fact, Rahu is often placed at the top of yantras as the spike, the crown, or the ascending force. Architecturally, Rahu is seen in vertical spires, antenna-like towers, or unusual asymmetries in design. Rahu rules the southwest direction in Vastu, associated with heavy karmic loads, hidden energies, and sudden change. If not handled with care, architectural imbalances in this direction may invite instability or restlessness. In contrast, anchoring this direction with grounding weight, like stone or closed walls, helps contain Rahu's explosive energy. In modern astrology, Rahu governs technology, mass media, AI, foreign travel, fame, internet culture, and anything that rapidly changes how we interact with the world. It's no coincidence that tech billionaires, media icons, or political disruptors often have prominent Rahu placements. They're on a straight-line trajectory that doesn't follow precedent. Rahu pushes them to invent, dominate, or challenge the norm, but without emotional grounding, it can also bring scandal or collapse. So when you visualize Rahu through the symbol of a line, understand it as the cutting edge of karma. It doesn't circle back, it pushes forward. It represents the part of you that's hungry for success, recognition, freedom, power, but also untested in that hunger. The line can slice through ignorance or lead you off a cliff. That's Rahu's paradox. He gives you the momentum, but asks, can you master the direction, or will you chase shadows? Ultimately, Rahu's line reminds you, desires are powerful vectors, but unless aligned with higher awareness, they can take you far in the wrong direction. Yantra of Rahu, construction, design, and benefits. Let's now examine the Rahu Yantra, the sacred geometric tool associated with the North Lunar Node in Vedic astrology. Rahu is a Chhaya graha, a shadow planet, with no physical form yet enormous karmic power. It rules over illusion, desire, foreign influences, innovation, and unconventional success. The Rahu Yantra is specifically designed to stabilize this wild, unbounded energy and redirect it toward transformation, insight, and worldly advancement without self-destruction. The construction of the Rahu Yantra is minimalist but highly charged. Its foundation is a square boundary for grounding, within which lies a magic square of numbers, typically 3 by 3, where every row, column, and diagonal adds to 18, Rahu's mystical number. At the center lies a bindu, representing both the eye of the illusion and the still point of clarity that Rahu obscures. Some versions include sharp triangles or lines to reflect Rahu's linear, one-directional drive, pushing boundaries without looking back. The simplicity of the yantra reflects Rahu's nature, deceptive on the surface, potent beneath. The color scheme of the Rahu Yantra includes deep purple, navy blue, smoky gray, and even black, colors associated with shadow, illusion, and mystery. It is typically made on lead, black stone, or black and copper, as these materials ground Rahu's disruptive charge. It may also be inscribed on Bhojpatra, sacred birch bark, using coal ink or black sandal paste. These elements mirror Rahu's identity as the non-traditional graha, operating in the margins, in the unknown. This yantra is especially helpful when Rahu is afflicted, conjunct the moon or sun, or placed in sensitive houses like the 1st, 4th, 8th, or 12th. Rahu's negative effects can include anxiety, addictions, hallucinations, fame obsession, or loss of identity in pursuit of material ambition. Meditating on the Rahu Yantra helps clear confusion, calm compulsive thought patterns, and redirect intense desire into research, innovation, or spiritual self-inquiry. The main mantra used is Om Brahm Brim Brahm Sarahave Nama, best chanted on Saturdays or Wednesdays, and during Rahu Kalam, the daily time slot ruled by Rahu. For placement, the Rahu Yantra is ideally installed in the southwest direction of the home or office, or even near the main entrance to protect against subtle negative influences. In Vastu, this direction is associated with karmic pressure, ancestors, and psychological depth, all under Rahu's domain. Place it on a black cloth, near a grounding stone like obsidian or hematite, and light a sesame oil lamp to stabilize its energy. It's best to face southwest or west while meditating on this yantra. The primary benefit of the Rahu Yantra is protection against illusions and distortions of perception. It sharpens critical thinking while anchoring the mind against paranoia, impulsiveness, or media overexposure, common under Rahu's influence. For professionals in tech, media, aviation, espionage, or unconventional careers, this yantra offers a stabilizing current amidst high-stakes environments and chaotic ambition. It brings control over the very force that often feels uncontrollable. At a deeper level, the Rahu Yantra supports karmic detox and self-integration. Rahu's position in the chart points to unfulfilled desires from past lives. This yantra doesn't erase them, it transforms them into insight. It helps seekers dissolve ego illusions, detox from material addictions, and reframe their obsessions into purpose. For mystics, artists, and occult practitioners, it opens intuitive channels when used responsibly and with humility. Ultimately, the Rahu Yantra is a spiritual compass in a hall of mirrors. It doesn't eliminate the chaos. It guides you through it with awakened clarity. In a world full of distractions and desires, Rahu teaches the lesson of detachment within intensity. When honored correctly, this yantra helps you harness the storm and rise above it, not by denial, but by clarity. It's for those willing to look into the shadows and reclaim their power from the unknown. Planetary Geometric Correspondences in Vedic Astrology Part 9. Now let's meet Ketu, the South Lunar Node, the planet of detachment, past life mastery, mysticism, and liberation. In Vedic symbolic geometry, Ketu is represented by a flag on a pole. At first glance, it might seem ornamental, but this symbol is deeply spiritual. The flag Vaja is a universal emblem of conquest, victory, or renunciation. For Ketu, it represents the soul's withdrawal from worldly entanglement, the victory of spirit over matter, and the silent triumph of inner awakening. Classical texts like Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra describe Ketu as resembling Rahu, but with qualities of deep spirituality, moksha karakatva, indicator of liberation, and nonconformity. Though not as feared as Rahu, Ketu is elusive, mysterious, and often misunderstood. Just as Rahu is a line charging forward, Ketu is the flag at the end of the journey, fluttering in the stillness after the storm. It's not the seeker, it's the part of you that's already been there, done that, and is ready to move on. Mythologically, Ketu is the tail of the Asura Svarbhanu, severed from Rahu when Vishnu decapitated him during the churning of the ocean. Ketu retains the body without a head, no eyes, no desires, no direction. Yet this headlessness is symbolic. It represents the dissolving of ego, the dropping of identification, and the transcendence of logic. That's why Ketu is often associated with saints, ascetics, and those who renounce fame, ambition, or identity itself. The flag is a beautiful metaphor here, a symbol of surrender that flies highest when the ego has been let go. Astrologically, Ketu represents detachment, past life karma, intuition, non-material talents, and spiritual insight. A strong Ketu brings deep inner knowing, psychic abilities, renunciation, and disinterest in the superficial. These people often excel in spiritual sciences, healing, metaphysics, or secret knowledge. However, when afflicted or improperly understood, Ketu can manifest as confusion, isolation, loss of direction, or existential crisis. It's like a flag without wind, fluttering but rootless, present but unclear. In sacred geometry and yantra systems, Ketu's energy is often captured using abstract or asymmetrical shapes, sometimes involving wave-like forms or inverted triangles. But most iconography honors Ketu through the flag, often placed atop temple domes or yantras to symbolize elevation of consciousness. The flagpole acts as the vertical axis of spiritual ascent, while the flag itself represents the motion of the soul in the wind of the cosmos. No control, only surrender. In many Vedic temples, the Dhvajastamba flagstaff stands at the temple entrance, reminding every visitor, ego must be surrendered before entering the sacred. Architecturally, Ketu influences open spaces, hidden corners, and undefined zones. In Vastu, it is associated with the northeast direction, the most sacred, subtle, and spiritually charged part of a building. This is where shrines, meditation areas, or water sources are ideally placed. If respected, Ketu space invites reflection, intuition, and serenity. If neglected or cluttered, it may create confusion, accidents, or emotional withdrawal. In modern astrology, Ketu is linked with mystics, psychologists, researchers, and spiritual seekers. It also governs renunciation, retirement, and things beyond social validation, like enlightenment, detachment, and inner peace. Those with a strong Ketu may feel disconnected from worldly ambitions, but unusually wise or clairvoyant. The flag here serves as an apt reminder, not of arrival, but of departure. It marks the place where you no longer need to chase. You only need to let go. So when you reflect on Ketu as the flag on a pole, think of it as the marker of completion. It flutters high above when you've conquered the ego's illusions. Ketu doesn't ask for action, it asks for release. The flag isn't raised at the beginning of war, but at the end, when the battlefield is silent and the inner victory is won. In your chart, Ketu shows where you are being called to surrender, transcend, and awaken. Ultimately, Ketu teaches this. True power comes not from holding on, but from letting go. The flag doesn't fight the wind, it dances with it. And in doing so, it becomes the very symbol of spiritual freedom. Yantra of Ketu, construction, design, and benefits. Let us now explore the Ketu Yantra, the sacred geometric diagram devoted to Ketu, the south lunar node in Vedic astrology. Ketu is a shadowy, headless graha that represents detachment, spiritual insight, moksha, liberation, and karmic resolution. Unlike Rahu, who drives desire and ambition, Ketu dissolves identity, breaks attachments, and invites inwardness. The Ketu Yantra is designed to stabilize its often intense, isolating energy, transforming confusion, disconnection, or loss into spiritual clarity and inner freedom. The construction of the Ketu Yantra begins with a square boundary symbolizing the grounding of subtle, intangible forces. Inside this is a magic square, usually based on the number 7, associated with Ketu's mystical vibration. Some variations incorporate multiple triangles arranged in descending order, symbolizing release and descent into the subconscious or spiritual domain. At the center lies the Bindu, representing the void, the silence that remains once the ego has been stripped away. Some yantras may depict a flag or banner motif, referencing Ketu's Vedic symbolism as the Dharma Dhvaja, the flag of spiritual victory. The colors used in the Ketu Yantra include smoky gray, silver, pale orange, or white, tones that represent purification, subtlety, and surrender. It is most auspicious when made on copper or ashtadhatu, a sacred metal alloy, or inscribed on bhojpatra with sandalwood paste or saffron ink. Its understated aesthetic reflects Ketu's quiet, ascetic nature, powerful not through display, but through withdrawal. Unlike other yantras, which often radiate outward, the Ketu Yantra invites contemplation of emptiness and stillness. This yantra is particularly helpful when Ketu is afflicted, combust, or placed in difficult houses, especially the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 8th, or 12th. An afflicted Ketu can lead to confusion, alienation, aimlessness, chronic dissatisfaction, or emotional numbness. Meditating on the Ketu Yantra helps you reconnect with deeper intuitive wisdom, awaken past life memory, and regain balance when life feels fragmented or directionless. The primary mantra is Om Stram Stream Stram Sa Ketave Nama, best chanted on Tuesdays or Saturdays, particularly during Rahu Ketu Kalam or during eclipses. In terms of placement, the Ketu Yantra is best installed in the northeast corner, which aligns with subtle spiritual forces in Vastu. It may also be placed in a meditation room, healing space, or near the altar. Ideally, you should sit facing east or northeast while meditating on the yantra. Offerings such as durva grass, frankincense, camphor, or white flowers may be made to enhance its spiritual resonance. The yantra should be placed on a white or orange cloth and treated with reverence and stillness. The primary benefit of the Ketu yantra lies in its ability to purify past karma, especially those associated with abandonment, grief, and isolation. It helps dissolve the ego's attachments and promote peace with the unknowable aspects of life. It is particularly helpful for spiritual aspirants, researchers, mystics, energy healers, or those experiencing a spiritual awakening that feels destabilizing. The yantra calms the nervous system, sharpens intuition, and supports deep inner healing. More subtly, the Ketu yantra helps in transcending illusions of identity. Ketu governs the Muladhara, root chakra, in its most subtle sense, not as security, but as disconnection from false roots. Meditating on this yantra allows for deep karmic closure, release of outdated soul contracts, and liberation from the cycles of worldly craving. It is also useful during moksha dashas, spiritual retreats, or periods of solitude. Ultimately, the Ketu yantra is a portal to surrender, not conquest. It does not grant material rewards, but spiritual insight. It clears the noise, strips away the distractions, and reveals the stillness that is already present beneath the surface. When meditated upon with humility and faith, the Ketu yantra becomes a guide into the silent wisdom of emptiness, a reminder that in letting go, you discover who you truly are.